I'm delighted to be able to announce today that the Therapeutic Goods Administration, Australia's medical regulator, has approved access for 5 to 11-year-olds to the Pfizer vaccine.
The TGA's approval clears the first of 2 remaining hurdles for the kids' rollout to kick off. The second approval from ATAGI is expected in the coming weeks.
It's 1/3 the dose because, like medicines, often with vaccines you get off with a smaller dose for younger children. So the efficacy is essentially the same in adults as it is in this group.
All going to plan, the first batch of doses will arrive in the country before Christmas. The rollout to Australia's 2.3 million 5 to 11-year-olds will start around January 10, before term 1 of school.
A bit over a fifth of all cases of COVID are actually in the under 12s. And indeed, some of the early data with Omicron suggest that that may actually be higher for Omicron variant.
South African doctors are in fact reporting a steep rise in Omicron infections among kids under 5. But today's announcement doesn't yet cover that age group. The latest variant of concern has now been detected in 40 countries, while there are still no confirmed Omicron deaths. In South Africa, new cases have grown from 1% to more than 15% in the 11 days since its discovery.
So Omicron may be on the rise and we may come to a point where it takes over to be the dominant variant, but at this point, the very dominant variant remains Delta.
Here, there are now 15 cases of Omicron in New South Wales, 2 cases in the ACT and 1 in the Northern Territory.
Now, it's very recommendable that vaccine manufacturers already start planning ahead and plan for the likelihood of having to adjust the existing vaccine. That's good, not just to wait till the final alarm bell rings.
Well, for his expert epidemiological thoughts, we're catching up with Professor Tony Blakely. Tony, the TGA has said yes to this. What should parents then consider before vaccinating their 5 to 11-year-olds?
Well, get vaccinated. But the things to consider, your child being vaccinated reduces their chance of getting COVID. It's not that serious getting COVID, but it's still better to not get it than get vaccinated. By children getting vaccinated, that keeps schools more open, which is good, and keeps community sports going. And also it helps the whole community because as adults, vaccine immunity is waning. When the kids get vaccinated in January and February, it'll help us bridge over to when all the adults are vaccinated. So many reasons for children to get vaccinated.
So if it turns out that Omicron is as good at evading immunity as is suspected at the moment, are we going to need a new kind of vaccine sooner than we thought?
So the current vaccines will probably be less effective, but they're probably not going to be way down here. They're going to be, in the middle somewhere. So they're still going to offer us some protection, hence it's important for the kids to get vaccinated to give them a little bit more resilience. But we will want to have those vaccines in 100 days, which is what the manufacturers say, so that we've got better protection against Omicron if it becomes the dominant variant, which I think it will.
Hey, Professor Blakely, you're wearing a very snazzy shirt there. It's festive, it's joyful. I'm hoping that you're going to give us some good news to this next question, because there are medical experts that are hopeful that Omicron, could potentially be a good thing, maybe. Can you explain that for us?
I'm in that camp too. Emphasise the word hopeful. Don't know yet. But what we're seeing is a virus that's nowhere near as bad at causing hospitalisation and mortality. And if it was, we would have got that news out of Europe and South Africa by now, so that's good. But we are waiting to see how bad it is at evading the vaccines. Let's assume it's not too bad, and it will probably be more infectious. What that means, if it comes into Australia, it's going to be better for the unvaccinated, the people who don't want to get vaccinated, to actually confront this virus rather than Delta. It's going to be safer for them. So it may be quite a good thing to wash for our society in a controlled manner so that the unvaccinated get exposed to this one, which isn't as bad as Delta, and get their immunity that way. And if it displaces Delta and it's got less virulence, it's going to be better for all of us, pending how good the vaccines are. So we've got a bit more to learn, but I'm reasonably hopeful this is a good development.
And that's why you got your party shirt on. Professor Tony Blakely, thank you very much for joining us.
Pleasure. See you later.